Alright, here is the other tutorial for our new project that we're going to start. It should take you 2 to 3 weeks, likely. So you can see that what I am searching for right now is Batman typography, and I did find a few different examples to show you. Now this is one that I would say is too simple, and you want to get more out of the project than just this. As far as simple goes, it is effective as far as the balance of black and white, positive negative space, but what we're looking for is a little more color depth, variation from light to dark. A few other examples. This one's pretty cool to, as you can see, they filled in that negative space with some larger text, which is kind of interesting. Or you can pick up to 2 characters. So you can see that our theme this year is going to be superheroes, or you could do villains. It doesn't really matter to me. Just make sure there's no blood and gore. You can get some pretty sweet effects just using a black background, like you can see for the Hulk. Here's another one that's pretty interesting. So you can use some of the symbols associated with the character to kind of balance things out. But again, you really want to see more of that light to dark going on in those photos. Here's another really good example as well. You can see that this isn't all just one color of red or maroon. You can see how it changes all the way to black. Same thing with this, gradates from white to gray, and so on and so forth. But always remember that you don't need to fill the whole thing in unless that's really what you're going for. This balances nicely with the white space, but then you can see there are some examples where they do fill the entire thing in, and it works successfully, sorry, I can't talk, for this piece. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do, and this will help you see those differentiations in the color and the lights to darks, is I'm going to do Batman, so I'm going to search for him. And I want something pretty lifelike. You know, this might be, it could work. It has light to darks. But I think what I'll look for, I don't know, maybe this guy. He still has some color. It's alright if you do black and white. If you can find color, maybe shoot for it. You know, maybe even something like this, because you can put color in the background. So I'm going to view the image. And it looks like I have a good high quality photo. So I'm going to zoom in. Looks pretty good. So the next thing I'm going to do is right click, if I can get it, and copy. Now for this project we're going to use Illustrator. So I'm going to open this program, and the largest we want to go is 11 by 17. So I'm going to do File New. And this is how you should title it. Let's just do, you can put hero or villain, you know, whatever you're gonna do. So obviously for Batman, he's the hero. Now for the width, because my picture is long ways, I'm gonna do 17 on the width and 11 on the height so that I get more of this layout. If you have a taller picture, you want to choose that orientation. It'll switch it for you once you put the numbers in. So then I'm going to hit OK. And now I'm going to paste by hitting Command V. And again, zoom out is Command minus. Now remember in Illustrator, just hold Shift because otherwise you'll squish your picture. So Shift, click. I'm going to downsize it just a little bit so that it fits the page there. I'm okay if I don't get all the bats in there or all the cityscape. Not a big deal. Now the thing to remember in Illustrator, because we've learned 3 different programs so far, is that you want to keep layers going. So if you don't see them, anytime you don't see a window, color, gradient, or otherwise, go under Window. I'm going to find Layers. Make sure this is out here. Now I've got my artwork on one layer, so I'm going to lock it so I don't mess with it. I'm going to add a new layer, and this is where I'm going to start my typography. Make as many layers as possible, because as you get going, if you do one layer for the entire thing, you're guaranteed to have overlapping text. It's going to be really hard to select each specific one. So try to use as many layers as you can. So for instance, maybe the background I can definitely put as one layer. Maybe I do bring out some of these bats. That would be a couple different layers. His cloak on the right side might be one on its own, his head another. So just break it up. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you a couple different ways to create type going in different directions. So I'm going to hide this for now. One way that you can do this is the pen tool because you're familiar with it. So you can click and drag, create a line. Now you can take your text tool and you'll notice how it changes when you get close to that line. So click, you can start typing, and you can make this all about, you or all about your character. You can look up script. It's really up to you, but have something that really relates to what you're trying to describe about your character. So for now, mine's gibberish, but I would look up some information on Batman. So one thing I would do is maybe make this a little bit larger so you can see what's going on. Alright, so I'm glad I did this because you can see that it has this plus sign. That means that there's more text than is able to fit on that line. So I want to make sure that it's large enough to fit on there, but not too large that it goes way past that point. Now if I want to, I can get the white arrow tool, locate my anchor point, click it once, and then click and hold, and I can change this at any point if I don't get it to quite match up to where I want it to be. And then you can see that I have a little bit extra space for text. So if you find that you get that red plus sign, just kind of pull out that anchor point and you'll be fine. Or you can delete a couple. Now that's one way to do it. And remember, this was on your pre-test, so take notes if you need to. Another way you can do this is maybe with the ellipse tool. So I can create a circle, and again, take my text tool, and it can fill it, which could be nice. I don't really like the way it looks personally. Another thing you can do with the ellipse tool is you can draw one. I can take away anchor points to make it maybe a half circle, and then do the same thing with my text tool. See, now that's the one I want, is where it slants. So now when I click, it's actually going to follow that circle. Another way you can do is the pencil tool, if you trace an outline of something. And again, if you goof up, just click the last anchor point, delete it, and it goes up to the next one. Same thing here. If I click here, it's going to delete up to that point. So it's easy to fix. Again, take the text tool, make sure it kind of slants, click there, and you're ready to type. The one thing that is tricky about Illustrator is when you click on the font, it just gives you the name. It doesn't show you what it looks like. So to see it, we want to go to Type and Font, and now you can see that not only do you have the name of the font, but you have exactly what it's going to look like. So try to pick something that helps to describe your character that you choose. So maybe this font might be really good for some areas that are lighter, maybe back here, or as it gets lighter from the sun on his cape. Whereas some of the darker ones, like these, would be really good to fill in the cape or the darker areas, because it's a heavier weight text. One of the other things you can use as well, should work on pretty much any line. Yep. See how that slants again? You can type. So you really have many options as far as that goes. But again, focus on your layers and pick one area at a time. The other thing you should do as well, if I'm going to start and say the background, I'm going to label this the background. And then if I want another one for his cape, I'm going to label that as his cape. That way you keep yourself sane and you can remember which layers are which. Alright, so that is to get started. The next tutorial I'll load a different one, and that goes over coloring and some of the gradations.